A small group of minions is fast approaching you and your NPC friend. You try to escape, but you're cut off by a high AC enemy, all while a sniper has set up its perch, ready to rain down arrows from a vantage point. You're alone, unarmed, unarmored, and you have to protect an NPC. It looks like an impossible situation, but I have something that'll get you out of this jam without having to bribe your DM. In this video, we'll be talking about the Oath of the Frozen Flame. It's inspired by Kagami Hiiro, aka Kamen Rider Brave. I'll demonstrate its core features using my signature action cam and explore how it grows at higher levels. I'll also give a few character inspiration ideas inspired by Exade's prodigious surgeon. So if you're the type of player who loves the Nova Strikes of a Paladin but also enjoys variety, this is right up your alley. Howdy folks, I'm V. Paladin subclasses are unique in that their powers are tied to a divine calling or an oath. But in the series, Kamen Rider Brave is a quote-unquote Dr. Gamer, and he's called upon to treat a digital epidemic by destroying video game-inspired monsters called bugsters. So given the inspiration, what's the calling of the Oath of the Frozen Flame? Think of these paladins as crisis responders. Those sworn to this oath are called upon to de-escalate an ongoing disaster and eliminate any threat at the center of it. But what makes them unique is their devotion to the symbolism of fire and ice, galvanizing them through flames but instilling temperance through frost. The transformation feature you saw in the opening teaser is only one aspect of this subclass, because this paladin offers quite a bit more than simple form changing. We'll talk more about Kamen Rider Brave later in the video, but for now, are you comfy at the table? Let's take pop culture to pen and paper with today's homebrew, the Oath of the Frozen Flame.
Henshin.
To give a better picture of what the features look like, let's build a level 7 Paladin. Feel free to pause here to see the stats. I'll also be using the 5.5e rules, but rest assured that the subclass has compatibility notes for the 2014 version. So imagine you're on a date with that cute NPC your DM totally isn't gonna use against you for character development. But suddenly you get attacked by monsters. You're unarmed and your AC is shot because you're only wearing plain clothes. Here's how your Oath of the Frozen Flame features can get you out of this pinch. As you roll initiative, you can already use your level 3 feature, Aspect of the Frozen Flame. This is the subclass's Channel Divinity ability, which is a 10-minute buff, and this is the part where I added the transformation system. Because the first thing you do is choose a form that the subclass calls a Frozen Flame shape. Think of it as your character making a suit of armor using fire and dice, then shaping it in the image of aspirational figures like knights or heralds. For now, let's take the knight form. This grants an unarmored defense in the form of equilibrium protection. Specifically, you gain an AC of 13 plus your charisma modifier and a +1 bonus if you're not wielding a shield. But you can't finish a fight with just armor alone. Luckily, the knight form also grants the Blade of Temperance benefit. This gives you a cool melee weapon that lets you change its damage type to cold or fire damage once per turn. And just like that, you've already got an AC and a weapon that ensures you're always ready, especially in emergency situations. But these are just backup abilities, since you'll likely have better equipment under normal circumstances. The real power of this Channel Divinity shines when push comes to shove. Real quick, be sure to claim the free preview in the links below to check out the features at 3rd and 7th level. And later, I'll show how you can get this and an entire library of homebrew content for free. While your aspect feature alleviates your lack of readiness, you're now faced with 3 different problems. First, a small group of mooks is fast approaching you and your NPC friend. Second, a heavily armored monster has managed to lock you down. And third, another monster has been pelting you with arrows from a higher vantage point. Let's tackle these problems one at a time. You wouldn't last with so many attacks coming your way, so you decide to thin the opposition first. Unfortunately, you only have 2 attacks per turn, but there's a way to clear that group of enemies with 1 strike. You hit the lead mook with your Blade of Temperance and use your bonus action to cast Divine Smite. But as part of casting Divine Smite, you use Elemental Deliverance to change your radiant damage to cold or fire damage. You then release an elemental burst in a 15-foot cone, subjecting each creature in the area with certain effects, depending on whether you deal cold or fire damage, as well as your current frozen flame shape. In this situation, you choose Fire, forcing each enemy in the cone to take 2d8 fire damage or half on a successful dex save. And in one attack, you eliminated the entire group of weak enemies. Elemental Deliverance is the big benefit of your Frozen Flame shape, and each of your forms produces different cone effects. You can't spam this, however, because much like other Channel Divinity stuff, you can't use this again until the next time you expend your Channel Divinity use. You still have a second attack, but let's skip over to the next round to see how you can tackle the next two problems. You've been missing most of your attacks against this heavily armored monster for the past few turns. Your current form grants you better armor, but this is a battle of attrition you're not gonna win. So as a bonus action, you cast Magic Weapon on your Blade of Temperance to give your attacks a bit more accuracy. You then take the attack action, but you forgo your first attack in order to change your Frozen Flame shape from Knight to Herald. You lose the Knight form's AC bonus, but this new shape is especially good against tanky opponents. Unfortunately, even with Magic Weapon active, you still miss your attack by a hair's breadth, but the Herald form just granted you a benefit that'll come into play later. And in the meantime, the other two enemies will make their attacks. The tank luckily misses both of its attacks, but the sniper took a potshot at you while you were distracted. The next attack should have hit you with an 18. Luckily, the last hit activated your Herald form's Rhythmic Defenses effect. This grants a +2 bonus to your AC until the next attack against you. It's your turn again, and this time you're gonna take down that tank. You make your attack roll and finally land a hit with a +3 bonus to the attack roll. This is thanks to your Magic Weapon spell and your Herald form's Rhythm of Battle feature. When you miss an attack, you gain a +2 bonus to the next attack roll you make before the end of your next turn. You take this opportunity to cast a level 3 Divine Smite to finish off this armored monster. You still have one attack, but you can't reach the sniper from here, so you forgo this next attack to transform into your Winged Worm Hunter form. While this grants you a fly speed of 20 feet to reach the sniper, you don't want to leave your friend behind. It's the sniper's turn now, and it sees an opportunity to attack the non-combatant. It rolled a 14, which would have hit, but the sniper's shot bounces against your wings instead. This is thanks to Armored Wingspan, which grants cover bonuses to allies within your aura of protection. The sniper changes tactics and fires at you instead. Unfortunately, it nails you with a 20 to hit. This should have dealt 15 piercing damage, but you're not out of the fight just yet. As a reaction, you use Wormhide, which grants resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage against one attack. It's your turn once more, and you rush toward the sniper using your fly speed. With 2 strikes and a smite, you quickly dispatch the sniper before anyone else gets hurt. Whenever you reach a subclass milestone, it'll grow in 2 directions. One represents the actual elements of fire and ice, which manifests as your subclass features. At level 7, for example, you grant protective benefits to you and your allies within your aura when you deal cold or fire damage during your turn. The other direction represents its symbolism, which you've seen through the various Frozen Flame shapes. You gain the Knight and Herald forms as soon as you hit level 3, and then you gain a new form whenever you hit a subclass milestone. And like the Knight or Herald, I designed all the other forms to serve a relevant role in combat. For example, you get the Tyrant form at level 15. Unlike the Brutish Worm, this one grants protections against elemental damage, but it also lets you summon a small army using Conjure Minor Elementals. Admittedly, it's quite a bit denser compared to conventional Paladin subclasses, but I really wanted to express the concept of a transforming Paladin through its features. But stats and features are only half of what makes a D&D character. The other half is its narrative concept. So here are a few character ideas that fit the oath of the Frozen Flame. You'd think that it'd be obvious to use this subclass's inspiration as a character idea. But on the surface, Kagami Hiiro doesn't seem to have much of a connection with his powers as Kamen Rider Brave. That's unless you look deeper. See, his character's core concept is duality. Because Hiiro is a man that uses cold professionalism, and he wears it like a mask to hide the burning passion he has to save lives. And this conflict is expressed in his fire and ice powers. The forms, on the other hand, represent the journey of self-discovery, starting from his knightly form as a professional out to do the work, to a savior who's had to make some harsh decisions and faced even harsher consequences, all in his efforts to save lives. Alternatively, you could do a paladin who venerates aspirational figures instead. I'm not too familiar with Fairy Tail, but Urza Scarlet comes to mind with her requip ability. Granted, the Frozen Flame doesn't nearly have as many shapes to cover her power set. Of course, you could take the Frozen Flame Paladin in a stranger direction. So imagine a Paladin who made an oath to maintain balance in the world. And the surprising character who fits this well is Emi Ashiro after the Holy Grail War. Because he made an oath to a counterforce entity, whose entire purpose is to enforce balance when evil has tipped the scales too far in its favor. Granted, this might be more of a warlock type character, but let's not split hairs. I should make a Fate homebrew at some point. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Like I mentioned earlier, you can get this document linked in the thingy. It has the full Paladin subclass, but also has a few extras. There's a source materials section if you're a fan of the series, and a homebrew integration section if you want to use the Frozen Flame subclass with my Exade campaign guide. Oh, and have I mentioned that you can get this for free as a membership perk? It even gives you access to the rest of my growing homebrew library and exclusive subclasses that I haven't publicly released yet. I recently just finished a fear-mongering Batman subclass, so consider signing up if you want to check it out. Ko-Fi and Patreon memberships keep the channel's lights on and help me stave off MC's risotto addiction. Speaking of MC, let's give her a warm welcome as she gives a special shout-out to our honored members.
Hello, it's me, the Mallard Quinn. And while V gets me some risotto, allow me to honor these Mallard Royal Guards. Vava, Karma Prime, Cyber Cooler, Elderlight, Tommy Kamen Rider 88, Mr. Phantom, Game Gamer Gamer Gaming, Bryant LW, Coinop 1989, KV, Piku, and Cosplay Battle. Thank you for watching the video, and an extra special thank you for making it to the end. Until next time, V and I hope you have a great day ahead.